Hi everybody, thanks for watching another video. I'm in the office here this morning with Ian. First video of 2024, or the first video I'll be filming in 2024. Second video that I'll be posted for the year. I had a few people comment, and I think it was a couple videos ago maybe, I'd asked what you guys are interested in seeing. I had a few people ask about our reproduction on the farm, and I've had people in the past also ask about that, and about sires we use, and had a specific question also about heifer calves, beef cross calves, Holstein bull calves, what we do with those calves, and kind of the amount that we have per month of each. And I'd like to talk about that here a little bit in today's video. Maybe spend a few minutes talking or explaining about that here in the office, and then maybe go into the barns, look at some heifers. It is kind of dark and cloudy today, but we'll see if we can go look at some heifers. I need to look at some heifers anyways, but Ian's playing here a little bit in the background, so hopefully he doesn't give you too much noise. What are you doing, Ian?
Putting them back.
Putting them all back in. Usually at least once a year, sometimes more often, we'll have select sires, our semen company that we work with, do a repro report, look at things over the last year, look at trends, see how we compare it to last year, try to find some areas where we can improve is the main goal behind that, and make sure that we're not slipping in areas where we shouldn't be. So I thought I'd just give maybe a brief overview of that, some of the highlights. Mainly the biggest things that we're looking at is conception rates, but Shane also had in his report milk production, fat, protein at the same time compared to a year ago. And since the previous year, milk production was up 3% or 3 pounds, fat was up 0.1%, and protein up 0.1%, I think it was. Peak milk was up a little more than 3 pounds, which that was nice to see. That all of those are trending upwards, so that's a good sign. And conception rates on the cows was 50% for the whole year average. Highest was 55% in March, lowest was 45% in June. So potentially, if we can get some of those summer months up, which it's not uncommon for some of the summer months to be on the low side. It's a little bit surprising to see June already, because July and August and September were higher than that. So not sure exactly what the cause of that was, but it's an area where we can definitely improve a little, get that a little bit more consistent throughout the year. Could get that number overall up a percent or two, I think. The conception rate on the heifers was the same as the cows on average, 50% for the whole year. A little bit of a bigger swing, which was a little bit surprising to see. 50% in June was the highest, which is really strange that for the cows that was the lowest month, and for the heifers it was the highest. And then September was 44%, which I'm not sure the reasoning behind that is. Same thing as with the cows. Can definitely try to get that a little bit more consistent throughout the year, and should be able to get the whole average up a percent or two, I think. So I could maybe explain a little bit how we do the breeding on our farm, because we do use Cow Manager, like you've seen in videos in the past. So we try to breed all of our cows on natural heats if possible. So the voluntary waiting period for the first lactation cows is 75 days, 65 days for second lactation plus. So we wait at least that long for before we start breeding our cows. We give the cows 70 days to show a natural heat. So if cows show a natural heat in Cow Manager before that day, we will just breed her off of a natural heat, off of the Cow Manager heats. But if she does not show a natural heat prior to that 70 days, then she will be enrolled in our sync program, doing just off sync on our farm. Not very many cows that are going into that. We want to breed as many cows on natural heats as possible, but obviously, just like people do, cows can have reproductive issues, reproductive problems. So those cows would be enrolled in a sync program, and even the cows that do get enrolled to that, a lot of those will get picked up and will show heats prior to going through the whole program. And we will breed those. If a cow shows a good heat, she will be bred regardless of where she is in that program. Those are the main points, I guess, on that repro report. And we also did a genetic report at the same time. So I think it's probably been 2 years now, but I had mentioned in a video a long time ago that we were only genomic testing for A2, or to find out if cows were A2 or A1, But last year, well, it's been exactly a year ago now, decided to go back to doing genomic testing on all of our heifers again for all traits through Zoetis, clarified plus test. So we have some heifers in the herd. I think it was like 300 or so. Let's see if I wrote that down. Yeah, 300 first lactation cows that were tested and have been milking in the herd, but we also had around 100 that were fifth lactation, because we did do clarified plus testing many years ago, but it would have been probably 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. We did it for a couple of years, and we still have several of those cows in the herd, so it's kind of interesting to look at some of that data. So they were essentially looking at our progress, our genetic progress, and also looking at top 25% genetic wise in the herd versus bottom 25%, based on a lot of things like fat, protein, mastitis, fertility, cow health, a lot of health events, and then also some of the production components of our cows. Basically looking at where we can improve genetically, how we're doing. Some of those things was very interesting for me to see, and I'll share a couple of these with you guys, because one of probably the most surprising ones to me was there was 11% difference in conception rates, first service conception rates, on those first lactation heifers that are in the herd, from the top 25% to the bottom 25%. So that's a huge difference, 11%. The top 25% produced 5,500 pounds more milk in a year's time, or in theory in a year's time, because none of those heifers have completed the lactation yet. They're 50% less metritis and 45% less ketosis. So those are pretty significant numbers. So that told me immediately that it makes sense to invest in genetics. Using top genetics will definitely have a big impact on the herd. I mean, it takes time, but if you don't start now, you're never going to get there. And also, because we still had some of those, because we tested years ago, we had some data from those cows. So the top 25% was 50%. Don't remember exactly where I left off. I think I was talking about the culling rates on those cows. So they looked at those cows that we had genomically tested several years ago, and at what point were they culled out of the herd, and what the difference was between the top 25% and the bottom 25%. And that specifically in the first and second lactation, there was 50% higher cull rates on those bottom 25%. And if we're considering all those other things I just talked about, conception rates, production, health events, that absolutely makes sense. Because if a cow is having any of those issues, if she's having trouble getting pregnant, or production is lower, if she's having more health events around the transition period, she's more likely to leave our herd. And that goes for cows throughout their whole life, essentially. But again, pretty significant difference, 50% higher chance that she was leaving if she was in the bottom 25% genetic wise versus the top 25%. So really, really, I guess I don't know the word I'm looking for, really proof to me that that investing in genetics makes sense. So I talk quickly, maybe a little bit about our repro, how we're deciding which cows to breed and what we're breeding them to, and what happens to the calves after they're born. So on our farm, we're using only sorted semen, so they're able to sort males from females in the semen. So we're using sorted Holstein female semen geared towards our top genetic heifers and cows in the herd to essentially more quickly make genetic progress in the herd. And then everybody else is bred to beef. So on the heifer side, it's about 80% of our heifers will be pregnant to Holstein sorted semen, 25% to beef, and on the cows it's flipped. About 20% will be pregnant to Holstein sorted semen, and about 80% is bred to limousine bull. The couple reasons why we're doing that, like I just said, to more quickly improve genetics by using the good Holstein bulls on our best Holstein cows and heifers, and then the beef semen is used because that will produce a beef cross calf, a Holstein limousine cross calf, and those calves are better performing in a feedlot situation, better performing in a beef feeding operation. So we get premium for those calves over a Holstein bull calf. So the vast majority of calves that leave our farm for beef production, they'd be a crossbred calf, and they get sold along with Holstein bull calves at around a week of age, 2 to 8 days of age. Essentially, they're picked up twice a week, raised on local farms here, and raised very similar to how beef animal would be raised after about 6 months or so, I suppose. They're raised exactly the same as our Holstein heifer calves would be up to that point, just on different farms, not on our farm. And all the Holstein heifers are raised on our farm by us until they come into the herd. But we only want to have as many Holstein heifer calves that we think we need to come back into the herd to keep our herd at the size it is today. So we, the way we're doing it currently is 2 services of sex semen on any heifer or cow that's deemed to get sex semen, and then she would be bred with beef after that. And any cow or heifer that would be chosen for beef is just bred beef every single time until they are, in theory, until they conceive a calf, in theory. But just the main points of our breeding program, and as far as picking bulls, picking sires, not super involved with that myself. Obviously, I have a pretty good relationship with Select Sires. The bulls that we're using on our farm are all Select Sires bulls. I work closely with Shane and Leif and Gordy as well. He brings us the semen, but they know what we want, and we do have a regular discussion about in general what we're looking for in our cows and in bulls. We want a little bit smaller sized Holsteins. We don't want big Holstein cows. We want to have good components, good health traits. So those are some of the things that they're looking at, and they'll look at indexes when they're picking those bulls: net merit, dairy wellness profit, herd health profit, and they'll use all those things together and then specifically focus on a couple of those things like that I just mentioned to pick bulls for our farm. And just recently been using next gen bulls, Select Sires next gen bulls for a while now, but recently decided to go a little bit more heavily in next gen bulls. So that's their highest genetic genomic bulls, having quick access to those bulls. So as soon as those bulls are available and they're in the next gen category, their highest category genomic wise, those bulls are being used on our farm. Really trying to improve genetics on our farm. I think it's an area where we can still make a lot of improvement, and hope to continue to make improvement in that way. But a lot of information in a short time there, so maybe we'll go look at some heifers. We do need to service a skid steer here this afternoon also. We'll maybe look at some heifers here this afternoon yet before We have to head to Runnings, pick up some supplies, and then go home for the day probably. We do need to enter in, it's Friday today, so dried off cows today, moving cows today, need to enter that into the computer. So we'll do that before we go home also. In our heifer barn here now, it's pretty nice temperature wise today, right around freezing. It is raining a little bit again. Not sure what the deal with the rain is here the last couple of weeks, but not definitely not like it was a couple of weeks ago, but it is raining again, cloudy outside. We are going to get some cold temperatures here next week. There's some lows in the -10s Fahrenheit, so it's going to get a little chilly, but feels pretty good right now. These will be breeding age heifers right here, around 13 months old, 13, 14 months old, brown Swiss. Like a friend is breeding heifers right now. He's got this pen locked up, and now heifers look a little dirty actually. It's been and even the cows do. It's been really humid the last few weeks, or even the last month, with it not getting cold, and there's been a lot of moisture in the air. Cows get a little bit more dirty. At the end of the barn here, so we've this first pen here, the first pen that heifers will get into free stalls. So they're about 7, 8, 9 months old at this stage. It's really in these first couple pens that I'm going to look for some heifers that maybe falling behind the rest of the herd, or don't look quite as good as the rest of the herd. See if there's any that I want to sell. At this point, if they're falling behind the rest of the herd, falling behind the rest of the heifers, more than likely they're never going to catch up. And if they've had some health issues at this point, it's likely they're going to continue to have health issues. Usually when they get to this age, you don't really want them to have any health issues, or they shouldn't. I did walk through this couple pens here this morning, and I didn't really see any that I thought looked poor, but thought I'd walk through it again. Overall, pretty happy with how our heifers are doing. Very uniform if we're walking across the pens like this, which is what we want. She's really dirty. For whatever reason, it's more common with the red and whites. They like to sleep on the alleys more often than the black and whites do. Ian's running away from me. Don't really have anything else for the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, post them down below. Hope that everybody has a good 2024. I do have some goals for 2024. Personal goal is to try to learn some Spanish. Been trying to do that for 2 years already, but should try to get a little bit more serious about it. Goal for the YouTube channel. Taryn's always complaining about my camera work, that I move it too quickly. Sometimes, and it's hard to tell on my camera screen, but the shots get a little blurry in the barns, and I don't know if it has to do with the shadows or with the cows being dark colored, but it's sometimes hard to get a clear shot in the barn. I can't really see it on the camera until we see it on the computer, and at that point it's too late to change things. And I'm not really one to take multiple shots. If I film something, I film it once and that's it, because I don't have time to take 30 shots of something I'm trying to get a shot of. So whatever I film, that's what Taryn has to work with when she's editing the video. So one of my goals is to try to do a little bit of a better job filming, so that we get some better footage for you guys. But definitely planning to continue with the videos. Really appreciated all the support from all of you watching. Nice comments. Hope to continue showing you guys what we're doing on our farm going forward into 2024. Just watching Ian here. He's all the way down the other side of the barn now. And, goal for the farm or for the herd, so I'd like to continue to get more older cows in the herd, more 3rd, 4th, 5th lactation cows. Older cows, they produce more milk, higher butterfat, higher protein, and the more older cows we have, the less heifers we have to raise, the more beef cross calves that we can sell. So all around positive thing for the farm, but that comes with some challenges. Older cows can have higher chances of health issues, higher chance of poor quality milk as they get older, and they take some extra care around the transition period from calving into milking cows. But I feel we have the capability to do it. We're around 30% first lactation cows in the herd here today, kind of slowly coming down all the time, but I'd like to see if we can get down to that 28% or even lower if possible. So that's kind of a goal for the farm, and that takes a lot of things into consideration, and we have to do a better job of managing the cows, more comfort, better nutrition. Have to improve in a lot of areas to try to make that goal a reality, but I think we can do it. But with that, I think we'll end the video. Ian's having some fun with Ramsey, it looks like. Is Ramsey chasing you?
Yeah.
Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.